March 18, 2024. Russia votes again, and once again, Vladimir Putin wins. With nearly 90% of the vote, Putin secures a fifth term as president, opening a clear path to remain in power until at least 2036. In modern Russian history, only one man ruled longer, Joseph Stalin. And time, health, and biology now stand as the only obstacles between Putin and that record. In his victory speech, Putin spoke of strength, stability, and prosperity. But beneath the language of progress lies a deeper belief, one he has never tried to hide, that Russia is strongest when ruled by a single, decisive hand. His hand. Today, many Russians struggle to imagine a future without him. And perhaps Putin himself believes that only death, not elections, not opposition, can truly end his rule. So the question remains, how did one man come to hold an entire nation so firmly? And why has no force been able to loosen his grip? To understand Vladimir Putin, we must return to collapse. In 1991, the Soviet Union disintegrated almost overnight. A superpower vanished, leaving behind chaos, humiliation, and uncertainty. Russia emerged as an independent state led by Boris Yeltsin, a president presiding over economic collapse, political fragmentation, and the sudden rise of oligarchs, men who turned privatization into personal empires. For Putin, this period left scars. He had witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall not as a politician, but as a low-ranking KGB officer stationed in East Germany. When angry crowds surrounded the KGB headquarters in Dresden in 1989, Moscow stayed silent. No help came. No orders arrived. Putin burned documents until the furnace broke. That silence taught him two lessons he would never forget. Power must never hesitate, and a state that loses control invites destruction. Putin's rise was quiet, almost invisible. A former intelligence officer with no mass following, no political base, and no charisma in the Western sense. Yet in 1999, as Yeltsin's health failed and Russia searched for stability, Putin was elevated, first as prime minister, then as acting president. War made him visible. When conflict erupted in Chechnya, Putin spoke with absolute certainty. There would be no compromise, no weakness, no negotiation with those he labeled terrorists. Russian television amplified his image. Decisive, cold, unflinching. The public responded. In March 2000, Vladimir Putin was elected president, and within months it became clear this would not be a temporary presidency. Putin moved fast. Independent television networks were dismantled. Oligarchs were summoned, warned, and divided into two categories: loyal businessmen and enemies of the state. Those who crossed the line by funding opposition or criticizing the Kremlin lost everything. Some fled, some were imprisoned, some disappeared from public life entirely. The message was unmistakable. Wealth is permitted, influence is not. Under Putin, power no longer flowed outward, it flowed upward. Crisis after crisis followed. The Kursk submarine disaster, terror attacks in Moscow, the Beslan school siege. Each tragedy expanded state power further. Each emergency justified tighter control, harsher laws, and fewer questions. To many Russians, Putin appeared not as a tyrant, but as a shield, someone willing to make brutal decisions to preserve order in a world that once collapsed around them. And order, in Russia, carries deep historical weight. When constitutional limits threatened to interrupt his rule, Putin adapted. He stepped aside, but only on paper. Dmitry Medvedev became president. Putin became prime minister. The system continued unchanged. Then, when the moment was right, Putin returned to the presidency, stronger than before. Later, the constitution itself was rewritten. Terms were reset, limits dissolved. Legitimacy was manufactured through referendums, media campaigns, and carefully managed elections. The future was secured, not through ideology, but through architecture, an architecture of power designed to outlive resistance. Internationally, Putin abandoned illusion. He confronted the West openly, accusing it of hypocrisy, expansionism, and humiliation of Russia after the Cold War. Georgia, Crimea, Syria, Ukraine, each conflict reinforced the same narrative. Russia would no longer retreat. Russia would act. And at home, dissent became synonymous with betrayal. Opposition leaders were jailed, poisoned, exiled, or silenced. Journalists were intimidated. Civil society was hollowed out. Fear became quiet, but effective. Yet even systems built on control face one unavoidable enemy: time. Putin understands history deeply. He fears disorder more than tyranny, collapse more than stagnation. To him, stepping aside risks repeating the Soviet catastrophe, a second implosion, this time irreversible. And so he remains. Not because Russia cannot move on, but because the system he built cannot survive without him. One man, one state, one axis of power. And when that axis finally breaks, Russia will not merely lose a president, it will be forced to rediscover itself.